everybody, and welcome back to another comic. Some of you guys just saw me. This is the show where we talk about everything comics, the whole universe of comics. And this can lead into manga, it can lead into anime, can lead into movies, video games, you name it, figures, all this stuff. My name is Technique. I'm your host today, and I'm here with my co-host, Matt, aka Nighthawk Plays. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, happy Saturday, man. Happy another week of the comics. How you doing?
Doing good. Busy, man. Busy. Preparing for Lost Ark. It's literally my job now, like 100%, to teach everybody about that game in any which way that I can and learn it myself, you know, and go from there. There's a lot of stuff going on in the behind the scenes. It's not really like big news or stuff going on, everybody in the comic world, but there's a lot of rumors, speculations, and things being leaked. And I swear everything that's leaked always has to do with Spider-Man. I feel like it's the only thing that gets leaked so much. But you know, it is what it is. There's a couple of things we're going to talk about and go through today. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. Thanks for being hyping the stream and everything.
You were just doing another Lost Ark. Like I've seen you've been doing like you've been playing Pokemon Arceus and then something else, and then like you've been watching, or I think you did a couple of interviews this week too. Did I see that right? Or no?
I did an interview this week. I'm going to be doing more with all the KR players, the top KR players of Twitch, I should so say. We did an interview with a gentleman named Saint Tone, and he has been playing the game since beta in Korea. He doesn't speak Korean, but he can read Korean because he's been around. He lives in Korea. Like all the top players that play Korea live in Korea now. He worked in the video game company for a long time. It's SAINTONE if you guys want to check it out. And if you go to my channel, Technique channel, like twitch.tv/Technique, you do !Q and the number sign and A. And you can watch that.
Q&A, I like it.
It's very good for beginners. It really breaks it down. And also you get to know who Saint Tone is, because anytime I do interviews, I don't want it just to be about business. You know, you need to know who you're talking to. And he's a very wholesome guy, man. And I'm going to tell you right now, I played every MMO around the corner, and there's no community that's as welcoming as Lost Ark has been for me. And yes, I'm talking about even past Final Fantasy community. Final Fantasy community is lovely, but Lost Ark community is on a whole different level. Everybody wants the game to succeed. Everybody wants new players to play the game. It's just been absolutely fantastic, and it's really good. It's really good. So I'm very interested in it, man. The biggest reason why it's going to be one of the biggest hits to hit the US from an Eastern market is because the biggest game that's doing well right now is not an American game, right? It's not a westernized game. It is a Japanese game. It's Final Fantasy 14, and it's been holding that crown for a very long time. And they didn't get that crown off the rip. You know, in the beginning, it was really bad game. And then Yoshida, Naoki Yoshida, came into play, and he turned it around. He made it his baby. He turned it around, and now it's sorry, that's my wife in the background making a lot of noise.
Rage.
Okay, well, she's putting ice in a cup. Super loud. It's just because it's right there. Not her fault. It's just how our house is laid out. She closed the door. So he turned it around because he listened to the people. He plays the game. He's the one giving the conversations. The director is giving conversations. He's doing live talks around the world. This man does live letters on Japanese time, EU time, and NA time. He's like all over the place, right?
Yeah. So
Geum, who's the director, and that's Geum, the director of Smilegate, who runs
Smilegate,
who makes Lost Ark, Amazon Games being the publisher, just want to make that clear. He has adopted a lot of the practices that Yoshida has adopted, listens to the people, knows the game, breaks it down, and then gives the talks. It's very important that I'm saying this.
Yep.
The difference between Square Enix and Smilegate is, and the reason why this is going to do so well, and a lot of games out there, I don't want to say the difference between them, World of Warcraft, even Cyberpunk, games like that, have investors, a board of directors, investors, people that give money to fund the game to push it out earlier than what they can do. Or a lot of people go through Kickstarter, and we're the investors, so to speak. This game, Smilegate, the CEO owns everything. He owns the stocks 100%. He owns the company. There's no investors, there's no board of directors. It's him.
So this is a true like independent not even company. Really independent, but it's self-owned. Like that's
it's privately owned.
That is
privately owned
rare.
Video game company who's doing mega well. So he has a lot of faith in the people the Korean players, it started out just like Final Fantasy. It's the story. It's the ugly prince or the ugly princess story. It's like started out kind of ugly. They turned it around, and now it's one of the best, if not the best game in Korea, but it's privately owned. And the players love the people so much, the devs so much, that they raised money, a collective money over time, over $20,000, so they could see, messages and stuff. So the devs can see messages from their fans telling them that we care about you, take care of yourself, no need to rush things, stuff like that. And it's like very wholesome. But also, I would like to say that Smilegate is more so known from video games than to be in a charity company who has like 26 different charities that they do.
Really?
And each charity that was told to me during my interview, and if you want to watch that again, go to the channel. Every charity was absolutely obliterated goal-wise because the players spent mega money to make sure that they hit their goals twofold. Super amazing, man. That's how tight that community is, and that's how tight everything is. And this is what we're missing in the Western market. Here, if somebody screws up a movie, a video game, if it's not what they want, they berate, they threaten, do all kinds of bad things. And that's why we don't have things going around. MMOs are so hard to make because they're time consuming money, but like movie budget money, like 8 million. No, more than that. More than that. It takes like 8 years to develop an MMO and all the budget that goes into it. For something that may not last months, you spend years on something that may not last months in popularity. So the NA market and EU market don't understand that stuff.
Wow.
And the same thing can go with our comics and our movies. The same thing. It's like the one time a fan doesn't like something, they blow it up. They review bomb the hell out of it. And then unfortunately in our markets, nobody likes to do research because people's patience here is super thin. So they follow credibility sources, right? If you're credible, then people automatically they follow you, right? They follow you.
No, you're right.
And you can be wrong.
You're right there.
Yeah. So anyway,
well, you know
that's
what?
my big spiel about it.
I mean, I know that's not comic related here, but I know how excited you are for it. I know how you were here with New World, right? And it seems like you're also here, maybe a little bit above it for Lost Ark. And
no.
A lot of things happened. But
New World, I was here. I was like, yay. Lost Ark, I can't even show you, man. I'm like up
that's
here.
Good. And I mean, there's such a big difference.
I've been hyped for Lost Ark since 2016.
Yeah, oh wow, I forgot it's been talked about for that long
time.
I mean, actually. Crucible was too, but the big difference that people got to know, which you had to tell me too, also was the difference between Crucible and New World. It was developed and published, where Lost Ark is just published. This is developed by Smilegate, as you said, which is a big difference.
Technically, yeah. So there's a pro and a con to that. The pro is Amazon is on a leash. If Smilegate says no, they can't do it. Right. So they handle all the heavy lifting. Amazon just has to make it. Amazon's job is to make it pretty for the Western market, because the whole reason why you get a Western publisher from an Eastern company is because you hope that the Western publisher understands Western culture enough to be able to apply it and make it more attractive to us.
That was the big sorry, because I was working with Microsoft at the time, and that was a big thing that was going on between Platinum Games and Microsoft with Scalebound. Scalebound, Platinum Games is very Eastern culture, right? And like they didn't want it. There was a big difference in back and forth between what would work here compared to there, and global. It was there's a lot of, you forget how much nuances there are when it comes to creating video games or stories in general that we've talked about here. So it just popped in my head when you said that. I'm sorry.
No problem. But yeah, that comes into play, and it's like you have to pick the right publisher. It could fail because their ways of doing things may not be what the Eastern market wants to show their Western consumers. So the pro is that Smilegate is awesome, and Amazon Game Studios got enough money to do whatever they want, right? But the con is the fact that Korea is on a 16-hour different. Right?
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
When it comes to work hours, we're on opposite sides of the spectrum. So that crossover is very small, and to get the information, hold the meetings that you need to hold, little rough, but it's working so much. Let me tell you how much, and this is why this game is going to succeed, in my opinion.
Please tell us.
The director saw the trailers that Amazon Game Studios putting out
for the game. Okay,
and they were like, he was like, okay, these are not bad, but he said this during a Korean like update for their game, okay, for their thing. A couple of things that goes involved with this. Thing about Smilegate being privately owned is he's our director too. We don't have a Western director.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
A lot of companies do that. They implement a Western director. It'll be called like NCSoft West, NCSoft East. They have that. But NCSoft East is the headquarters, you know. That director's over the other one, but still. Anyway, he was like, that trailer was decent, but I want you to see my trailer. So he stays late every day at work to make sure that trailer is at the top shape it could be to present to their Western audience, because the director wants you to see his vision of what we're going to get. That's huge, man. Who in the hell does that? Like, what director I don't, besides Yoshida that does Final Fantasy, I don't know any other director that goes out of their way to stay late every season. He literally said, this is why I have been going home extremely late at night to make sure this trailer is exactly what I want you to see. He, Matt, is presenting it on the Crown Channel on Monday. He's going to lose sleep to present us with that. That's huge, man. That's fucking, I'm already like, oh, my heart, you know, like, okay, yeah, it's great. I can't wait.
Yeah, Mac, I saw a lot of that, and I had a lot of high hopes too for Scalebound, but hey, listen.
Yeah, same.
It is what it is. We're here. There's been so many other games that have come out and a bunch of different things that we're going to talk about today too. One of which you will get one of my famous Nighthawk rants for. But yeah, I'm happy. You know what? This is with last year being slow in general, going back to just one more thing with the video games, since September, maybe even August, it's been a run, and it's still a run. I mean, we just had Dying Light now. We had Pokemon Arceus. You have Lost Ark. If you look at February, especially later on in the month, Horizon Forbidden West, and then March, you got a bunch of games coming out.
Not even that. We got Guild Wars 2 coming out. We got Star Wars coming out. Both of those are MMOs. We got
a lot of stuff.
Sifu is Tuesday, but we can play it early as Sunday. Yeah. And I got a really nice little thing from them. I haven't showed anybody yet. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to do it. It's incredible. Like, I don't even know what's in that damn thing. It's heavy as hell.
Nice.
But yeah, you're right. We're such on a boom that January felt like shit. And January had releases, but it felt slow, and it just wasn't good. Mm-hmm. I felt. But are we good internet wise?
I
don't know if we were frozen on my screen. Oh no, we're good. Okay, I had to refresh. All right, make sure you guys refresh.
Yeah, you may need to refresh. I'm gonna bring up my router thing here too, just in case. But
it's all good. Just DCS.
Smile.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from the way things are being released, movies. We're talking about movies, TV shows, comics, everything.
Yeah,
is that we're learning to adjust in a pandemic on a working scale. We're not learning how to adjust in a pandemic to stay alive because people are dumb, but we're learning how to adjust in a pandemic to create a work process that actually is productive. You know, The only thing that we need to fix is the fact that we need the actual companies that produce chips sets and get your groceries in the store to catch up, because that's a problem now. We're starting to see grocery stores be limited to what they have. We're starting to see certain electronics and technology be limited to what they have and stuff like that. So
yeah,
hopefully we get it together.
I hope so. I hope so too.
Yeah.
It needs to work.
Yeah, it needs work. But you know what? We're getting there. And like I said, and Elden Ring is the end of the month. Like the biggest and most anticipated game of the year is coming out. So that's got a lot of good things. And not to even mention, since we're a comic show, we have that solo leveling game that's really being hyped up right now. We have Seven Deadly Sins game that's being really hyped up. Genshin is still doing great. Epic 7's making a big booming comeback because of Smilegate. I'm gonna tell you right now, I downloaded and started playing Epic 7 because of Smilegate, because I'm that hungry for Lost Ark. So I went ahead and bought a mobile game, or not bought. I downloaded a mobile game, started playing, and actually having fun, because it's something I can just log into and do for a couple hours or hour a day and log off and feel satisfied, So there's a lot of cool stuff coming down that pipeline. Webtoons they're blowing up, bro. Like, everything is getting adapted into webtoon, anime wise, movie wise, Netflix original wise, video game store. Like, apparently solo leveling is in stores now. Like,
that's wild.
It's just huge, man. Like, I'm so proud of the webtoon market. And it's technically the Kickstarter of comics without you having to spend loads of money for fruition. It's already like being produced. Sick stuff, man. And now we have studios, right? Like, big studio names that are starting to push stuff on webtoons. It's the comicology of manga. It's great.
It's webtoons is awesome, because you introduced me to it like a couple of months ago, and when you are able to watch them, the amount of love and dedication that's put into them, including the story, the art, I mean, from soup to nuts, from start to finish, it truly is awesome. It really, really is. So I'm happy that there's another avenue for this outside of the general, major comic book, like DC and Marvel driven, just comic books and direct to DVD and Blu-ray and movies. Having this as another area is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, man. I love indie stuff now. I'm a big indie fan now. I want to see more universes come out.
Oh yeah.
Funny enough, I mentioned I'm creating my own universe on my channel.
Ooh.
And I wanted it initially, like a long time ago when I was thinking about doing this, I wanted it to be a extension of the Marvel universe, because of
course.
And then now I'm just like, I want my own universe, because it's just more fun to have a separate universe. Like, the more universes a person can live in, the better, And I think this is why year 2021 and 2022 is a year of isekai, and that's being adapted across the board, man. Right? Like, isekai, if you guys don't know, is pretty much a Japanese genre where a person dies and they get reborn in a different world, typically an MMO world or a game world. And that's something that's being adapted in natural comics. I heard Marvel has something coming out that's along the sides of that. Dark Horse might be coming out that has something on the likes of that.
Wow.
Square Enix has Forspoken, which is technically an isekai as well. Like, all these things are being adapted. Yeah, this girl just randomly gets transported to another world, has powers, and helless responsibility, and she don't know what the hell's going on. So it's just
that is very true. Yep.
It's a lot of stuff that is being, and it's a cross reference of culture, and I fucking love it. I love it. Anytime I can see nerd culture just flourish, it's amazing. It's why I do a show on Twitch Gaming every month. I have a series called Getting Into It, because I want nerd culture to be huge and flourish and be thick, because honestly, there's a lot of people out there that think nerd culture is only good for Caucasian people. Silly as that sounds. Or that it's not okay to like nerd culture. That's going to shame you. I bring this up before, is that remember being in high school, when we were in high school, in elementary school and middle school, if you wore pants that were fitted, you were picked on.
Oh yeah.
Right. If you wore glasses, you were picked on. If you played Pokemon in a lunchroom, you were picked on. We had to go find our own little corners to be away from everybody, to be nerds. But now everybody wants to be a nerd. Everybody's wearing tight pants.
Man, if I was in high school now, I'd be king compared to this is like my age being. It's so different. It's wild. But man,
good for our kids though.
So Volta, excuse me, said the Lost Ark director said he wants to do something like Arcane for Lost Ark, which is that's actually something I want to bring up. So I know you've talked and you've read a lot of stuff. Coming down the pipe, essentially. Have you heard the same thing?
Yeah.
You're just like nodding your head, like, yep.
Yeah, I'm like, yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, right now, okay, I'll put it to you like this: Smilegate need to ride the high. Ride that high right now. Right now, Smilegate, I'm pretty sure their CEO owns the stocks, but I'm pretty sure everything that they do has jumped. You know, Epic 7 is a testament to what they can do anime wise. Granted, that's a third party anime company they probably brought in. They probably is consumed to do whatever. Every ultimate you do in the game is anime related. It's like it shows like a cutscene and it goes through that stuff. So I can see that definitely happening. It's like Riot right now. It's like Smilegate's on that Riot high. It's like we can do this. We already have the mobile market pretty good. Epic 7 is like one of the most successful games in the mobile market. And now they have the best MMO, arguably the best MMO in Korea, and they arguably might be in competition for one of the definitely top 3 MMOs in the US. So yeah, Arcane for that would be dope. That director is young too. That's another thing about he's pretty damn young. You know, so that's a good thing. I mean, Yoshida is like Yoshida looks old because he does so much, but he's young too. So, so these directors are gonna be around for a while because Yoshida's talking about another 10 years. In Final Fantasy.
When you start hearing things like that, I mean, that's what you want. I feel like as a fan, especially if you've already live to service games. Like those big like MMORPG live to service games. Like you want to hear that. And when you don't hear that, it gets scary. Or if it was created as one thing and it changes and you get scary. But it just popped in my head again since Volta said it. Obviously, these past couple of weeks, we've been talking about studio publishers purchasing studios and other publishers. And obviously, this past week, you had Sony purchase Bungie, the original creators of Halo, which is funny now that it's on
and they're not done
PlayStation. But if you read the notes from Sony themselves and Bungie themselves, the reason why I'm bringing this up because Volta it sparked in my head again is Sony wants to push Bungie and Bungie wants to get into being an entertainment company, right? So so the cool thing about that is, and I think it's what Microsoft is doing and obviously what Riot did, with Arcane and now Lost Ark apparently, like it's not just about the video games. You're creating this universe for us to consume in a video game, but you're expanding it outside of it, just like comic books did.
Yeah.
So seeing that and going to be getting hopefully these longer form storytellings outside of it, it's really cool.
Yeah,
this
man.
is a new age.
Look at Harry Potter.
It's not even
not again. We don't care about the author, but Harry Potter universe. The Harry Potter universe is still selling tons of stuff, dude. I bought 2 Slytherin sweaters. That shit was $120. You know, like, so I'm just saying, like, there's money to be had, and if Bungie would have been sitting on their hands just doing video games, they're losing out on so much. You know how much people want a Destiny movie, bro? You know how much money they can make on a trilogy with that? Like, come on. Expand on the universe, comic books, TV shows. Like, man, Sony has a studios. That's easy money for them. They literally have the IP right there to just do whatever they want with it. You know, they have the actors too, because the voice actors are actors. So they got everything. Like, they have everything there. It's easy for them to boot. But they may not be done. The rumor is that Nintendo and Sony are fighting over Capcom right now. And the price just keeps going up.
Say that again?
Sony and Nintendo are fighting. Yeah, Nintendo's apparently getting in on this rat race, and Sony and Nintendo are fighting over Capcom. But Capcom is kind of holding down, and I don't blame them because all that price does is go up. Capcom cool. They don't have to do shit. They just have to sit there. There's Capcom. They are not going anywhere. They proved themselves a long time ago. As long as they keep making Street Fighter games and whatever, they're good. So it's an interesting market to be in right now. We're looking for Bandai Namco getting consumed by somebody. If they had to get consumed by somebody, I hope it's Sony. But these companies are out here, man. Konami more than likely will get picked up. I hope pretty sure Konami's gonna get picked up,
man. I mean, what has Konami done recently? I can't even.
They're still doing. I know they do Dynasty Warriors. A lot of anime RPG stuff. What is that anime RPG called? Alchemist something Alchemist. That's being that they're making some money on that. It's always top selling every time on Steam, at least every time they release it. But Konami's just kind of sitting in their bubble. They're not doing anything huge. They just did Sega. We're praying that Sega gets picked up because Sega just closed their last arcade in Japan, which is huge, man. That's huge. Nobody's happy about that, but we don't know why. But the pandemic, more than likely.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, You know what, Sega? I know it's not video game wise, but they did come up recently again, obviously with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, right? And
yeah, that's doing well.
And they even heard what the fans said, and they're like, "All right, let's change it," and it just made it even better because they did the fans the service in the proper way. They saw their wrongdoing, so that's cool. You got the next one coming out. I'm actually just looking up Sega right now. I'm like trying to figure out like what they do. I mean, they do Total Warhammer, New Genesis.
They're good.
So they do a couple of things as well. I guess
Warhammer is releasing sometime this month the new big expansion for Warhammer because I have to do stuff with that.
Nice.
Coming up, and that's pretty good. They make a good bit of money on Warhammer. They have a new Sonic game coming out. That's everybody's. This the newer open world Sonic game that everybody's happy about. Especially me. You know, the movie's doing great. I mean, they're kind of just sitting and chilling. I'm pretty sure they're not a booming company, but if somebody picks them up, they can do a lot, you know.
Agreed.
So
I mean,
I am not sad that companies are getting bought out by these bigger monsters that have money to make them better. Everybody is afraid, like, oh, what if Microsoft takes over everything? Let them. The funny thing is, people don't care about these companies until somebody buys them. It's crazy to me. Like, you don't hear nobody piping about Konami right now. Will they get bought out by Microsoft? Oh, everybody's going to have to talk about them now. You know, like, it's just like, it's only for the better for them.
The interesting one outside of Bungie now recently was that I heard Take-Two may be on the lookout for potential buy, and same thing with EA. But then I'm thinking Take-Two has 2K under their belt. They have Gearbox, which is obviously Borderlands, but
we learned that doesn't matter.
I know that doesn't matter, but my actually big question with Take-Two is don't they publish for Rockstar Games? So is Rockstar Games owned by Take-Two or no? Because that's freaking massive. I don't remember if they are or aren't.
No. But yeah, I mean, Devolver Digital does a lot of publishing and development as well. So it's just like one of those things. I mean, you get offered billions of dollars, you take it because that's a win-win, right? You get offered billions of dollars for the company get taken over by a bigger company that has more money come in, right? So let's say Microsoft buys Take-Two.
So Rockstar Games is wholly owned subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive. What the hell does wholly owned subsidiary mean?
I have no idea.
I feel like they were an independent studio and they were bought by, like they're under the umbrella.
Either that, it's a fancy word for merger that has the bigger people is from Take-Two. Maybe that's it.
Because like you think of studios like that, like what would happen to them? Like if EA was purchased by Sony, what would happen with Respawn? Like
they would just go along with them. Look at Activision Blizzard. Same thing with Activision Blizzard.
That is true, yeah. Like that's where things like really, really get into. I know none of this is comics related right now per se, but it's technically it is. You can kind of put it all together, but that's
it's the same thing about Disney buying Fox. It's like what do they take and what do they don't take? You know, like I'm pretty sure that's all contractual. You know, it's just like we want this part of Fox, but you can keep that news shit. You know, like we want the entertainment, the news stuff. That's no, not us. And I'm pretty sure you could probably do that. But when you're talking billions of dollars, bro, Activision was like, yes, yeah, we're in the news media. I'm screwing over all my female employees and my minorities. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Billions of dollars, please, billions. You know, and then kick my ass out, and I'll live on an island for the rest of my life. Cool. And then it's a win-win because hopefully everybody gets a piece of that pie, and then they get a piece of the pie when the money starts racking in. So it's just a win-win when somebody. A lot of people look at takeovers as a bad thing, but it's an absolute good thing that Activision Blizzard got taken over.
Yeah, specifically that one. Oh my God, specifically that one. Yeah, and I mean, and Bungie, and that would have been interesting because it wasn't too long ago that Bungie was part of Activision. And they bought themselves to get out of it. Yeah, so that's
hilarious.
That's actually really crazy. Isn't that funny? They're staying away from Microsoft since they went independent originally. They're not going back. That's wild.
Yeah, remember their independent speech? We're never going to be acquired again.
We're gonna year, right? You know? That was last year.
There for our fans. Sony's like, oh yeah, how's $3.6 billion taste? Oh, we say that we meant Activision. You know, like, shit, I don't blame them.
Which once again shows you how big of an industry video games is. Bungie has one video game, Destiny 2. It is live service. They got expansions. It's yearly. But outside of that, and a little bit of merch, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong if you're big Bungie Destiny fans out there, like that's pretty much it. Now they went for $3.6 million. When you look at billion. Once again, billion, yeah, B, yeah, it's a big difference.
Million would be horrible.
Yeah, I could win the lottery. I got, yeah. But then you look at it, Star Wars was bought for less, right? It was bought for 2 point something. Like, it's crazy. I know there's a year's difference, and if Star Wars was probably bought now, it'd be a lot different, most likely money-wise. But video games make so much and have so much potential compared to other properties and other studios and everything. No, that's what I want to say. The Denver Broncos, a National Football League team, is probably going to go for $4 to $5 billion. And a video game studio with one game out there technically right now is going for 3.6. Like, that is wild to me still. It's wild. And actually, to go back to you want some more Castlevania stuff, they gotta be doing something, because I don't know if you remember, they did some NFT stuff with Castlevania a couple of months ago. Like, I feel like Konami is now ramping up for something. They just finished their anime on Netflix. I hope they do right and move forward with a bunch of things. But yeah,
I'm confident. Video games is in a really good spot right now.
It's not a company Tencent. Yeah.
I'm actually really interested in seeing what's going to happen with Naughty Dog, because they're putting a lot of money in their production for Last of Us on HBO Max.
Well, did you see their Druckmann, Neil Druckmann, the big head at over Naughty Dog? He oversaw the show as well, but he posted the other day from Naughty Dog Studios that they're hiring. And they're not just working on one game right now. They're working on, from what I see, at least 3 properties. Whatever it is.
Yeah, they're hiring for their next big installment. I don't know what that is, but bigger than Last of Us. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where you would go with it. I love The Last of Us. Like, I absolutely love that game, but I don't know where.
Last of Us lost steam, dude.
Well,
I think they were bigger during Last of Us 1 than it is Last of Us 2. I feel like that hype longevity of that series, you don't really see people talking about Last of Us TV series, even though it's just being developed right now. You don't see people piped up about that, man. You know, it's like
when it gets closer, it will, because there was a lot of hype when they talked about it. Obviously, Pedro Pascal got casted, and everyone was talking about it. It's kind of been dead since. I think when we start getting closer to whenever the release date is, you'll get it. But I do think that the way that The Last of Us 2 changed its whole story with the characters. I mean, it's Game of Thrones. It's Game of Thrones for video games, essentially, because no one is safe, right? But it's I don't know where they would go with 3, but I hope it is. But you have Uncharted, now you have The Last of Us. Whatever they do next, I know I'm gonna be there.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be very cinematic and theatrical. I mean, they have actual directors and actual movie writers writing these stories, so it's cool. All right, so we talked about Sony. Let's go ahead and keep talking about Sony. So my superpowers premonition. Yeah. I called it. Madam Web, she's coming, buddy.
Oh,
she's
my
coming.
God, You brought this up a couple of weeks ago. I started Googling the shit out of that live, and I'm like, I can't find anything. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, it was announced that Sony is actively looking or in start to create a Madam Web movie with Dakota. What is her name?
Johnson.
Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey. I know. From 50 Shades of Grey as potentially Madam Web. You've been catching me off guard, man. You've been catching me off guard. But yeah, you predicted it. You said it. They're really going ham on expanding now this universe since they opened it up with No Way Home. I mean,
why did I feel like nothing's because of No Way Home.
Yeah,
it's all in the pudding, bro. You don't just bring on it, again. If you haven't seen No Way Home, just get out of the chat for now.
Oh, so side note with that really quick, No Way Home. For those of you who haven't gone because of whatever reason, pandemic wise, End of this month. It's going to be here before we know it. It is coming out on digital on February 28th. So if you haven't had a chance to see it yet, February 28th on digital. No Way Home, put in. Sorry, Frank, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You don't just bring in huge actors and just do away with them when the response has been as big as it has. You create universes around it. You bring back what people want, because right now people are just paying on what they want. They don't care what condition is in, because they don't need to be convinced anymore. They were able to pull off the Infinity Wars on a smaller scale all over again with less screen time.
Yeah.
So with that, you have to find a way to make these universes work as long as you hold the property. Because as we know, Spider-Man goes up for, it's not like they have it forever. It goes up on it has this process it goes through. Let's just put it that way. So how do you make three universes work? Along with MCU, you bring in Madam Web, because it's all about the multiverse. So let me tell you how cool this all works. Right now.
Here we go into the rabbit hole. Let's go.
Kevin Feige and what's her awesome hair?
Amy, is it Amy Pascal?
Amy Pascal.
Yeah. Awesome.
Are best friends. And they want to continue to work together. Amy is more adamant than Kevin, because Kevin is making Amy money. All right. And on top of that, Amy said in an interview recently, and this is why I said that I made a caption that Tom Holland might be in good graces when it comes to keep playing Spider-Man. Those negotiations might be finally leaning in his way because of this comment that Amy said. Someone said to Amy that Tom Holland has been saying that he doesn't know the future of being Spider-Man. Like, he just doesn't know, that he's waiting for, confirmations. There are talks, but he doesn't want to get people's hopes up. Amy said, if I get my way, he will. I will continue working with Tom if I get my way. And we already know that Amy has power. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good for Tom. That's real good, because now he not only does he has the person that decides a lot of things backing him up. So now it just comes down to Disney at this point, because they're not going to, Amy's not gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna pay this load of money. It's gotta be an agreement down the middle. And what Tom has going for them is the hype has died down a little bit. The money is still there, but the hype has died down. He's up for an Oscar apparently now. So all this stuff is starting to happen for Tom. This is the time for Tom to make those negotiation periods, because he's like, Tom is getting very familiarized with the Spider-Man universe. He's reading a lot more comics. He's devolving him. He's diving into the rabbit hole, and now he's saying, "Hey, think about these things." And now he's saying this publicly. He's like, "What if we had a Spider-Woman? What if we had this? What if we had more diversity?" He's hitting these words that people want to hear: diversity, women, more diverse cast, as in like even race. Pulling this all together. He's being smart now. Now he's packaging his argument, and it's looking good for him. Instead of just saying, I need more money because I made you money type thing, he's now starting to win the hearts of people that decide.
So actually, this is a quote from this morning. I love this show on Saturdays because there's so much stuff that's happening. So this is from, I'm getting this quote from Tom Holland through comicbookmovie.com, and he ran Spider-Man. I'm just trying to see where it's actually from so I can code it properly. I guess he's on the Uncharted tour, and then someone asked him, I can't figure out what it is. Now, though, there's take an opportunity to clarify that. This has to do with his quote about playing Spider-Man when I'm 30, I'm doing something wrong.
Old. Yeah.
So this is Tom Holland's quote now. What I was basically trying to say is that if I'm 30 and still playing Spider-Man and I haven't passed on the baton to Miles Morales or a Spider-Woman or something more diverse, then I will have done something wrong in the sense of duties that I have to the character. He explained, not that if I'm playing Spider-Man in my 30s,
right,
I'm some washed up has been. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. So there you go. I mean, that's exactly what
that's a
saying.
PR
It's PR move.
By the way.
Yeah.
That is a PR fix 100%. And I don't think Tom would have made that clarity comment if he wasn't in the right graces of Spider-Man, because at the end of the day, if they would have said no to his offer, he probably would have just brushed that off.
Yeah.
And would have said something more of the lines of, I've done everything I could for the character, but if I come back, that's great. And this is what I kind of meant. But, you know, I think he would have brushed it off knowing it's Tom. Tom is still young. But that PR answer, yeah, I think he's good. Because multiverses is a thing. Everything has a multiverse. You know, I was on websites last night just messing around because I'm getting ideas for my universe on powers and stuff. And the amount of comic stuff that's being updated recently is wild. And you know what's updating a lot right now? Premonition time. Information on mutants.
Oh, yeah.
Heavily.
Oh, yeah.
2021 posts. Typically, when you type in something about mutant powers and stuff, it's like 2018, 2014, when First Class came out, you know, old shit. Now people are just like researching the hell, like the hits on mutants are huge. So be ready for something to come up called mutants, because guess what? Richard's son, Mr. Powerful himself, he's called an Omega mutant. And there's these Omega mutants out there right now they're getting their own series.
Mr. Richard,
Jean Grey and Cyclops' daughter, you know, what's her name? Hope. I think her name is Hope. She's getting her own yes. series. They're starting Frankie, I think his name is Frankie Richards, right? Frank Richards.
Well, I mean, they've had a couple because technically Kang is Reed Richards' son. So it's like there's but I know who you're talking about though.
Frankie Richards, the one that can literally create universes.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is Frankie Richards.
Yeah, these big Omega mutants. Yeah, and Hope. I think her name is Hope. God, what is Cyclops' last name?
Franklin Richards, and it's Cyclops and Jean Grey's daughter is. I think it is Hope. Rachel Ann Summers. No.
Oh, it's a granddaughter then. Yeah, Summers. That's it. Hope Summers is her name. I think it's Hope Summers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because that also ties into Cable at some point too, I remember.
Yeah, it ties into Cable. It's like some clone shit going on. It's some weird things. Genes and clones and I just know that she has genes. And I'm not talking about the venom ones. No. So yeah, her powers are just dumb. She can absorb anybody's powers. She keeps them. It makes her stronger, and she doesn't disable the person. So she's like Rogue, but with Dark Phoenix power. It's wild. Anyway, Mega Mutants.
That's what it is.
Yeah, she's being raised by a Cable Summer. Yeah. That's it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So a lot of these things are starting to pop up. Typically, what I know, and I'm going to give you guys a little secret about something, I'm not breaking NDA, but every time there's something new that pops up in the world of comics or something that's being refreshed in comics, you start to see a trend. Video game companies, TV series started to get advertised. Midnight Suns advertising is going to get a little bit bigger. That's all I'm saying. All this stuff is going to start coming around. That's when you know when there's going to be a movie or something bigger being made.
They just announced Midnight Suns video game, and now you got Blade coming in. You got Moon Knight coming in. There's rumors about other Midnight Suns characters like
Ghost Rider's being in talks.
Ghost Rider's in the talks. You're right. It's a circle, right? It's the same thing with movies. Like remember back in the day where like Penguin movies came out at the same time, and it's the same thing.
It's because they sit in a room. Marvel calls a meeting, people all join. It's like the Court of Owls, man. They're all sitting in this room, and they're all talking about what is your plans on release, where are you at in the studio, Marvel Avengers, where you at with your skins, this, that, and the other. It's all these talks, and if you look at it, let's take Marvel Avengers. I have to be very careful. She-Hulk was announced.
Yeah.
What's coming out soon? She-Hulk series.
Yeah. Yep.
If you don't believe that they don't sit in those meetings and talk about holding your releases until this comes out, you're sleeping.
Clint and Katie.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, obviously, I'm sure there was like a pandemic delay, and that's why things didn't come out closer than what they were. But like, definitely a delay. It's damn, man. It really is. It's so true. That is so true.
Anyway, yay for Tom. Rooting for you, buddy. I hope you get it.
Now,
Andrew Garfield's definitely getting his third movie. Well, I say definite, but it's more yes than no. He needs it. probably going to be in this Madam Web universe. I mean, not probably. He's definitely the Sony universe's Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire is in talks with Spider-Man stuff right now. Don't know how he's going to fit. Not really even excited for him. I'm more excited for Andrew. I think Tobey had his time to go.
I think he's going to be more of like we saw with No Way Home, where he's just going to pop in, do a couple of scenes, maybe big part.
The elder Spider-Man.
See, I don't see him. I don't see him like starring in his own movie. I don't see him starring in his own movie. If that does go, I think it would be more of Andrew Garfield, because Tom Holland has even stated like he's all about getting a Amazing Spider-Man 3. So I think it's more going to be like a multiverse. He comes in here and there and he's just like, hell, I mean, with Madam Web, maybe he's going to be helping out in that some sense, because with Madam Web, the first thing that comes to my mind is the cartoons back in the day, right? And Dakota Johnson isn't an old lady in a wheelchair.
She can be, though. Movie magic is easy.
Movie magic is easy, but there is more than one Madam Web. So like, there's Cassandra, not Cassandra Cain. That's something else.
I mean, if you really want to get down and dirty, the current Madam Web is Peter Parker's daughter, May Parker.
Okay.
So here's what I think is going to happen. Tobey Maguire is going to become spectacular Spider-Man Peter Parker, who owns his own technology company, working with Doc Ock, developing whatever, right? They'll probably go with that series. Maybe we'll see Superior Spider-Man at some point. I don't know. That's probably going to be that arc area. Amazing Spider-Man doing his thing where he'll probably meet up with Gwen. They'll have that love thing. Miles Morales will probably be more a part of that than he will the MCU. Let's just be real. Because Miles Morales is a baby right now. We don't know the time gap for Tom Holland, but I don't think they're going to jump 15 years, man. Granted, Tom Holland Spider-Man fits the story for Miles Morales being the ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And Miles Morales being 9 years old when he gets his powers. But then again, they're probably not going to go off the Ultimate Universe, because the Ultimate Universe was destroyed by Molecule Man in the comics, which would then kind of bring up a complication thing. So I believe Tom Holland is our main Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Andrew will reprise his role as Amazing. And Tobey Maguire will be more of a Peter Parker thing than Spider-Man, but still have that there. And we may introduce Spider-Woman through him or whatever. But Spider-Woman is a separate project by Sony.
Didn't they announce something about that too recently? Didn't we?
Yeah, they did. I don't know if they did recently, but they announced it in 2020.
Oh man, no, but we did talk about it recently. I feel like over the maybe not, because I mean,
it was more of Tom Holland saying that he wants a Spider-Woman, and they were like, "That's a thing." I think you might be thinking about Spider-Gwen. I don't know. Spider-Gwen is or Ghost Spider, whatever they call it, is in talks. There's no definite if they're going to be a project or not, but I think it'd be perfect for Amazing Spider-Man 3 to introduce her at the end of the movie as extra closure for Andrew Garfield's character. Show Emma Stone or some shit off her thing. Whatever. That would be just great. I don't know.
That would be.
But anyway, moving on from that Madam Web thing. This is how I think they're gonna make everything work. Spider-Man. Simple as that.
Oh yeah.
Because you have Madam Web. She's a big part of Spider-Man. She's the one that brings them all together. And so you have Spider-Man. You got Inheritors. You got Kraven. You got Blade. You got all this shit that just can line up. Morbius. You have all this stuff that literally can line up for Inheritors and Spider-Man. It's all right there.
It is.
It's literally right there.
They have so much stuff going on between Marvel and Sony. I mean, obviously, Spider-Man is like Batman. You can create your own universe just around that character and their galleries and the team ups and their rogues galleries. It's, oh man, it's what a day to be alive as a geek.
Yeah, man.
What especially a time.
Comics are definitely booming and is great. Comics is definitely booming. All right, so refresh, guys. If you can't see the stream, I see it just fine.
Yeah, I apologize. My internet provider has sucked. I've tried to done a couple of things on my end to kind of fix things up here, but we have also had some bad weather here, freezing, ice, blah blah blah. So yada yada yada. Hopefully, we won't have this issue for much longer. So stick with us. Thank you.
Scary. Also, Captain Carter.
Yes.
They put a trailer out.
Yeah, comics. So when you talk about comics kind of leading the way to what potentially could be in movies and TVs, they went all in on a trailer for this Captain Carter comic book that releases in, I believe it's the beginning of March.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, let's not ignore the elephant in the room here. There's a couple reasons why this is good. Number one, when Captain Carter was announced for What If, who were the first people to talk about it and knock it down? Stupid old dumb men. Right now, what's huge in the market? What's huge in the news? Women being in power positions at large companies that have failed with men in big positions in large companies. It's in the news. I'm not saying this is the drive, but it's in the news. It is what you look at as a trending thing. When is a good time to come out with a very strong woman who takes down the power of bad men and bad companies? Captain Carter. Like, it's a marketing strategy that works. You know, what do you call it? Activision Blizzard wiped out a bunch of people, moving a lot of women up. Same thing with Riot, moved a lot of women up. NCSoft just recently got a woman in a big position as a lead director for NCSoft West, Kathy, who I know very well from Ubisoft, who took the position and then left like a week later because she didn't feel that things were right. She felt like it was a Band-Aid over a big open gushing wound. She left and now she's at NCSoft to make NCSoft great. Hopefully, we'll see. And yeah, it's literally that trend thing. When is a good time to introduce a comic on a very powerful woman in a powerful way doing what these women are doing IRL? Captain Carter. It may not. This is just me. It may not have relations, but I think it's a very good time to start putting advertisements out like that. You know who else is starting to come in the picture now? American Chavez. Let's not talk about that shipwreck of how they introduced her. But now everybody knows who's this American Chavez? Who's Miss America? She American? She's not American. What's going on? She's American Mexican. What is going on? Now all these people are starting to do all this talking. And guess how? Let me tell you how badass American Chavez is and why she actually fits in the multiverse of madness. This girl can literally kick the air and create fucking multiverse pockets.
She's so yeah.
You know how you had them stamps back in the day, or those cookie cutouts, the star cookie cutouts? She does that with her feet.
That's wild.
Creates pockets in the multiverse.
That's
just saying. You talking about somebody that's more powerful than Steve Rogers is the worst super soldier? Nobody talks about this because he's America. He's literally the weakest super soldier there is. Even the first super soldier is more powerful than Steve Rogers, the black man that didn't get any shit. Actually, there's a comic book out, by the way. I hate that it had to just be out because of Black History Month, but there's a comic book out right now. I retweeted on my Twitter. It's called. I forgot to retweet this. It's called Truth, Red, White, and Black. Definitely go see it. I mean, definitely go read it. And it's a good time to read it if you haven't seen Falcon Winter Soldier, watch that and then read this. Pretty good lineup. Or read this and then watch that.
Yeah.
However you want to do that. Because it's based off that character in that show. So definitely go check that out.
Yeah, it's Captain America Truth. It's reprinted right now. You can get it on Kindle or Comixology for $12.99, or you can get it free on the app, or you can get it from paperback for $25. It's a good read. It is a good read. And if you wanted to go back and watch on Disney Plus, Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that hits you in the feels. I didn't really know a lot about the character. I knew that there was someone, it was black and everything that was going on, and not to put like a down on it, like I honestly did not know. And when they were telling me, they were telling story through that, man, that show tackled so much, man. It was that show's fantastic. I know so much people give it shit because it brought too much real world into it, but you need to do that sometimes with these characters. And I for one loved it. I thought it was great. I hate critics. Anyway.
That actor, man. Whew, that brought so many emotions to me. He did it up. He's great. So yeah, Captain Marvel. It's going to be pretty good. I'm really interested. Now, also, American Chavez is starting to, you're going to start seeing her comics resurface. Why? Because as I said, as these characters are getting reintroduced in the MCU, they know it's going to be a popularity. People are going to be wanting to know who the hell American Chavez is and what's this and what's her powers and how she get them and any other. It's a good time to market it all together and put it in a package and deliver it to people. And people are just going to spend money. It's just as simple as that. But we're all excited because we are here for that. And
to bring it back to Captain Carter, that the character that her design is heavily is it Haley? No, Hallie Atwell's Paramore. The actress that plays Peggy Carter in the movies and TV show. I can't think of her real name right now for some reason. Yeah. But it's like if you look at her, it's heavily looks like her, especially from What If. I mean, there's obviously some more small little things here and there, but man, does it look like her.
They're doing that. Familiarity and similarity.
It's the first thing I see.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. It's definitely huge the way they do it. I think it's very important that they do establish that. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man is probably the first big noticeable one where everything looks like him. Even Tom Holland said that he didn't know that there were toys that were made to look like him, and it freaked him out when he saw it. You know, because Sony does what they want with the IP.
Yeah, probably Hot Toys, right?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, that's creepy. I don't want that." Like he was just saying. But yeah, there's a Peter Parker Homecoming one where you can put the mask on and take it off, and he's like, "This freakily looks a lot like me. This is not even cool." Like, you know, whatever. But you know, Sony, when you make those contracts, I'm pretty sure they put all that shit in those clauses for them to be able to do that. But it's pretty interesting how that happens. Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing where things are going when it comes to this stuff. Okay, so
we got a lot of stuff still to go. I mean, we don't have. I mean, I know we got Moon Knight in still essentially 2 months because it's March 30th, right?
Yeah.
But we really don't have anything leading up to them, at least Marvel television wise or movie wise. I mean, we do have.
When is Batman coming out?
We do have the Batman coming out on May. On March 4th. So we do have something literally a month away. Yeah, I mean, it's literally a month away, right? But like Marvel wise,
I'm hyped for that now. I'm getting hyper for Batman.
Man,
because there hasn't been any other movies. So
yeah, I mean, we've had a lull. The last episode of what was the Hawkeye's now been over a month old now. Right,
in December. Yeah,
Book of Boba Fett is out there, but obviously it's Star Wars. It's not Marvel. There's a lot to talk about, obviously, with the Book of Boba Fett as well. I
haven't watched it, but if you want to talk about it, I don't care.
Man, it's wild. But if you want to think about lineups, right? I tweeted this morning and I put it in our thread and chat. If you haven't yet, let me see. Do we have a Twitter? I don't know if we have.
By the way, everybody, I want to let you know that we are 100%. updating everything. So the topics we talk about is going to be more visible for you.
Yeah.
I just won't go into detail how it is, but it's going to be really, really nice. So we're going to be like the CNN of comics, essentially. Visually.
Yeah. We got a lot of cool things coming down the pipe. And one of them is visual amongst some other things. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So the next thing that we're going to get from Marvel is March 30th. Moon Knight, very excited for it. I can't wait. I'm sure at the Super Bowl next week, we're going to get a bunch of trailers and tidbits for other things, but it was just announced or leaked or something that Obi-Wan is going to be coming out in May. And if you want to think of like lineup and like roadmap and stuff, right? You got the Batman May 4th, I'm sorry, I keep on saying May 4th because May the 4th. March 4th, excuse me. You got Moon Knight March 30th, and if you go 6 weeks from there, 6 Wednesdays, right? Unless there is, for some reason, a double up somewhere, right? Because of like Easter per se, it ends on May the 4th. That's when the season finale would be. So my guess is you're either going to get a season finale of Moon Knight and a season premiere of Obi-Wan on May the 4th, or they are doubling up Moon Knight 1 week, probably around Easter. And Obi-Wan is going to have its own opening on May the 4th, because once again, May the 4th is a Wednesday, and it just happens to be 6 weeks from March the 30th. So you and then Day after that, you got Multiverse of Madness coming out. Like, then you're really getting into the ramp of everything.
If Multiverse of Madness comes out, we don't know what the delays are on that either, because it really, so we've learned over time that delays is not only pandemic. Actually, pandemic is probably one of the lesser delays. It's all about where the package lies. So wherever Marvel has that saying of what they want to promote, that's when they're going to move stuff back for it. Because we're still worried about Mobius. We don't know. Like Sony is still just
April, but
just holding on that shit. Like I think the more they do that, I won't say the more they do it, the less hype it will be. Because when I saw the trailer, I got hyped again. And then when I heard it was delayed, I was like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. I hope that we hear something about Daredevil in this time, because I feel like it's not a good play to bring back Charlie Cox for 30 seconds and then not have anything come out of that. It literally was a cameo for a reason. Let's just be real.
I mean, they didn't even
need a lawyer at that point.
Yeah, I mean, they did more with Kingpin in a show, like, right? I mean, I'm not saying like it's. I agree. There's gonna be something down the pipe with Charlie Cox.
His whole point of being in the Spider-Man movie was to be a lawyer, which he didn't do anything. He just caught a brick. Literally, there was no trial. There was nothing.
It said he needs a better lawyer too, which is funny.
Yeah, that was it. So I'm just like, okay, there's got to be more. But apparently there was deleted scenes with Daredevil in a suit. So interesting. I didn't look at them because I don't want to see them. Not right now.
Yeah, they're supposed to be on. There's 101 like extra minutes or something like that of the extras for No Way Home once it comes out. So there's I think 5 or 6 deleted scenes, and I've heard one of them is supposed to be with Charlie Cox. I don't know if it's supposed to be with Daredevil, but I know he's supposed to be in there as Matt Murdock, which will definitely be interesting. And Mobius was delayed, I mean, a crud load of times, but the most recent, it was supposed to come out January something, but then they pushed it to April 1st, I believe. It is pushed till April. Yeah, April 1st is a Friday. So it is pushed as of right now. It's supposed to come out till April 1st. Whether or not that happens, I don't know.
So yeah, Black Panther 2. So good news about Black Panther 2. Apparently I forgot her name, Letitia. Apparently the actor that plays Shuri did get her thing finally. Did get her vaccination because Kevin Feige stepped in and he was able to get her to do it. Bad news is that Wasp, the lady that plays Wasp, was at a anti-vax rally. And now Kevin Feige's like,
really?
Done with one problem, now I got another. Yeah, and it went public and people are upset to the point where they want her replaced. But people wanted Letitia replaced only because she wouldn't get vaxxed. But I mean, people are happy now, so they're back in the good graces. Funny enough, I don't understand. My thing is this: if you want to, it's your business. If you want to be whoever you want to be, I'm not gonna like you because of it, but it's your business. But please don't publicly put yourself, when you're a public figure. This is what I don't understand, Matt. They go into a grocery store to pick up baby formula. They'll be in a hood, shades, mask, right? They'll be all so you don't know who they are. But when they go to an anti-vax rally, these mugs will be full blown in Wasp outfit. She might as well have dressed up as Wasp and headed out there. This girl had signs attached to her back and shit. It's just wild to me, like how they just don't, I don't know, apply the same rules. I don't know. But anyway, that sucks.
Oh, yeah. I see her posts.
She's replaceable.
Lily Evangelina. Yeah, I see her posts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you want to do with your body, I get it and I understand. We all have different ideas and opinions. I, for one, have gotten vaccinated. I have reasons to with family members.
And boosted.
Yeah. I still have to do that, actually, with family members being
did you get your free home test?
Immune.
Those are available.
No, I know I need to get that too, especially with my wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, immunosuppressed, that's the word I was looking for. But yeah.
But my thing, why not dress up like you were? Like, then do your thing. to me, it wasn't for her. It was for her to make a statement. And that sucks. Like, come on, man. There's plenty of people out here that would love to be in your position. You know? Like, just saying.
As you say, yeah.
Anyway, whatever. All right, moving on. Obi-Wan, yes, Obi-Wan is coming out. It's the same actor that did Obi-Wan before, which is great.
Mr.
Did he age?
Ewan McGregor. Yes, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, did he age at all, or is that going to be CG? Like, my man doesn't look like he aged at all. He actually looks younger in this than he did back in the day.
In episode 3, yeah.
Maybe that picture is a old picture from back in the day. I don't know, but man, he looks good. It looks good. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fast forward, so we'll see what happens. I think it's supposed to take place 5 years. I'll leave that up to the pros that are Kevin and Tim, but I think it's supposed to take 5 years after episode 3. And who I really don't know off the top of my head, but obviously
so this is interesting. This is after the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, it's after episode 3, but obviously before episode 4, because there's a 25-year gap, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong, between episode 3 and episode 4, or you know that too, not chat. Like, I mean, from Vader becoming Vader at the end of episode 3 to episode 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many years is that?
So here's the deal. Remember when we talked about Obi-Wan and his friend? That was he had I forgot his name. God, help me out.
No, Ewan McGregor looks
Star Wars
good.
Heads.
Oh,
he
yeah,
was a gray Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I want. All right, so this all connects with what's her face? My brain is not working today because it's all about Lost Art. I can tell you about engravings. It's about Akasha. Did I say her name right?
Kasha?
Not Akasha. What's everybody wants her? What's her name? Anakin's fucking like a apprentice or
Ahsoka?
Padawan. Huh? Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ahsoka. I think Akasha's like maybe
Rosario,
it's a server
Rosario
on.
Dawson,
I think it's a server on Lost Ark. Anyway, yes, Ahsoka. That all lines up. Those are all in the same timeline, by the way. So I wonder, since we already saw Ahsoka, I wonder if we're weaving in these two timelines. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if they're gonna slowly become intertwined. Because, and if so, it's interesting because I wonder if they're gonna have, what's his friend's name, guys? Obi-Wan's like best friend who ended up going with the Sith.
We talked about this.
He ended up training under Count Dooku for a little bit, and then he went to go kill the Count Dooku. Because she was Count Dooku's apprentice, but he found out that she was trying to kill him and all that stuff. It's a whole story called oh my god, the story's on Amazon. Fuck, it's like the Dark Disciple. I think the thing is called
Rivalry, Kanan, Dark Disciple, Yoda and the Other Jedi, Darth Vader, Qui-Gon Jinn.
I got you. Hold on. I got the names.
Anakin Skywalker. I don't have names here. I forgot
Dark Disciple. Here we go.
I forgot how I looked this up because the Dark Disciple is it Santine Kryze?
Ventress. Yeah, Ventress is Dooku's apprentice, and she makes this elaborate scheme to kill Dooku. And his friend name is what is his
Kevin,
name?
where are you, bro?
Quinlan. That's what I'm talking about. Quinlan is. Who are you screaming at? Oh, Kevin. Quinlan is Obi-Wan's best friend. And I wonder if we're going to see that.
Yeah, that was the name we brought up before.
I wonder if we're going to see that because I hope so. Because Dark Disciples probably one of this really good side story, like super good, man. You find out a lot about the Republic Council, a lot of like dirty shit going on in that, and you find out a whole bunch of things. So I hope it's great.
It's kind of hard not to talk about the last episode of Book of Boba Fett with where you're going with. So Chad, have you seen the last episode of Book of Boba Fett? Raise your hand if you have. And Frank, do you want me to spoil things? Yes or no?
I mean, I honestly don't care, but if people in the chat care,
I know if they care, then I'm not going to go through it because I feel like some of the things you're talking about are things that we should talk about that just happened in the last episode.
I promise to watch it this week.
Because but we won't have a show next week. But I promise to watch it. So many ties. Well, yeah, next week is the season finale too. So if you wanted to binge it, you can.
Yeah, I'll binge it next week, and then we'll talk about it the week after.
Aren't we
getting Night Sister stuff? Yes.
Isn't that the Acolyte show?
That's my point.
Isn't that the Acolyte show or no?
No. I don't think so.
Where are we?
I don't know
where
if
are
that's
you
Dark
getting?
Acolytes,
Where are we getting Night Sisters?
I know it was talks about that multiple times, and I want to say maybe some writer is going back into Star Wars. Is it Witta? I want to say Witta is going back to Star Wars for something to write. It might be Rogue. It might be the Rogue one, but I want to say Witta is going back in to write something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, Acolytes, aka Night Sisters. But I don't know if I don't know if they're going to be introduced through that, because then you're getting into a whole different territory. But I know Night Sisters is a rumor. I don't know if it's solidified, but I know what they're doing is they're redoing a lot of stuff that was canon and to make it canon. So the whole thought about them doing like an outside thing like High Republic and all that stuff is they're still reaping the benefits off the Old Republic and just redoing it through these TV shows.
Well, really I mean, they just had something massive. What did Will and Charles just do? They just announced something crazy with their comic books and High Republic. It just seems like they're working on something now.
They're getting ready to release something now.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember what it was.
I don't know if I can talk about it today though. Granted came in my chat and said it, but saying it in the chat and saying it,
So he's got a new season. Where is it?
It's not written. They're introducing Anakin. It's Anakin.
High on Legacy from Marvel Comics, a great way to discover past adventures of the storied Star Cruiser and foreshadow what might be in store for future passengers. Also great to see Ethan Jassax and Will Snidey together again. That's what it is. It's called Halcyon Legacy. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Maybe I should say what I said then.
Crimson Rain. And I don't know what you just said.
Oh, good. Never mind then. We'll cut that out. Let me see if it's made public. Are the stories they're doing any good? Yeah.
What is this?
Give me a second. Let me see if they reported anything.
Oh, on February 1st, it looks like they're hiring big now also for Ubisoft for their Star Wars game. I just realized that going through Will's timeline. Wow. Hi, Will. Oh man.
Let me see. Star Cruiser clone, Star Cruiser.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that in the last episode because
I'll just say that the fact that he came in my channel and said, yes, it's on. Okay, good. Woo! I see it. All right, there it is right there. MSN reported it. Okay, so Anakin, there you go. They're gonna be working on that very soon. If not, they're revealing it very soon.
A comic series? Mm-hmm. Oh, dope. That's cool. I love it. I mean, once again, they're expanding it in comics. And where are we going to see Anakin next? We're going to see Anakin in Obi-Wan Kenobi in some way, same shape or another. We know he's going to show up in Ahsoka, most likely a Force ghost, but he's going to be in Ahsoka. He may or may not have just been recently talked about. Like it's yeah, but how? Ahsoka's going to take place now. As far as we know, it's not going. Well, I'm sorry. Ahsoka's going to take place within the Mando timeline, not.
But where's the Mando timeline? After Clone Wars or before?
It is especially. Well, it's we see Luke after
because they were talking about Clone Wars
when he gets Baby Yoda. Mm-hmm. This is they've said Mando takes place after episode 6. It takes place 5 or 6 years after episode 6. So he dead. He dead.
Okay.
Yeah. So
God, Ahsoka, how old is Ahsoka?
I think they've canonized it that she's kind of like, I don't know if it's to as big as Yoda, but her race can stay alive for a while.
Okay, yeah, she got to be old because man, she's a long way from.
Yeah, she may age differently.
Yeah, I want Twi'leks must. I'm interested in that because I'm like, damn, she is old. Okay. All right. Well, there's that stuff. So it's looking really good for Star Wars. If you're not a Star Wars fan and you've been wanting to be a Star Wars fan, that was a good time to get into it. TV series is really great. A lot of this stuff is being rewritten, and the stuff that you're seeing now, anything that's being created now is canon. Even the comics. Keep that in mind.
Yes.
Good shit, man. And the Ren series is really good. Shout out to Sliney and Charles. Like that High Republic stuff is slapping.
They did great stuff. I mean, and yeah, I want to know more about the Darksaber too. What they've recently done with it. It's really good stuff too. Like now, I was very firm about wanting to get out of the Skywalker universe, right? Like we've had conversations about this, like where we would like to see Star Wars go.
It's getting a little
like
too much.
What would they do? They've talked about the movies, like going in another galaxy far, far away. But like the way they're doing things now on the TV series, I'm okay with staying in it. I am okay with staying in it if they don't like jump the shark. Because even though we're in it and it's characters we know, they're not forcing the hand of the Skywalker himself. Kind of, sort of. But now I'm okay with it. I want to see what they do more and more with it because. Man, so like Frank said, we're not going to be here next week, or maybe not live. We'll see what happens. So we will be back again. We're not leaving just yet, but we will be back again on the 19th. Hopefully, we'll be able to do a full-on review of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
of the Book of Boba Fett, how it ended, what's next. Probably some Super Bowl trailers, I presume, of what's out there, and much more.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see what's going on with that. All this jazz about Anakin and where he is and all that good stuff. Let's talk video games, comic video games. There's a lot going on right now. They're still hiring for Wolverine. Insomniac put out a thing a while ago saying that they're hiring. So if you got any talent, go for it. We see the hires, boy. Those jobs are filling up like hotcakes, boy. Let me tell you, every week I see somebody says joining.
Yeah,
and they have like Spiderman or Wolverine as their like gifts that they're joining Insomniac, and Insomniac's is like welcome to the holy grail of comic games. Like it's just great. Everybody's just like so nice to each other and stuff. How's DC looking?
TV's looking good. I mean, Peacemaker's awesome. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's James Gunn.
It's last on my list.
It's James Gunn. It's everything that you wanted from Suicide Squad, and seeing John Cena go ham in this character's role. It's absolutely fantastic. I know Casual's caught up. He loves it as well too. But the big thing that recently just came out that I'm probably going to rant here for a minute on is we've talked about WB video games for a while now, right? How I love the games, Rocksteady Studios, WB Montreal, the Arkham franchise, Arkham Origins. Monolith now getting into the world of DC with Wonder Woman, who did the Shadow series, Shadow of War. This Thursday, I believe it was either Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. This Thursday, Bloomberg reported that WB Interactive had their yearly stockholder financial conversation just to get past all the BS. They showed Gotham Knights, and they showed what was the other one? Harry Potter's Legacy. Harry Potter's Legacy, and also Lego stuff too.
Wait, you talking about
DC what they
fandom?
Didn't show? No. Bloomberg. Their end of year fiscal stock haul. Warner Brothers. They were showing off those things behind them in pictures, but you know what was not shown there? Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. And it is been reported. Why. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but when they were talking about what's coming out this year, they named a lot of things, but the one thing that they didn't say is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now here's my issue with that. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and Gotham Knights were both announced at the same time. Back at DC Fandom, I think it was 2020, if I remember correctly. It wasn't even 2021. DC Fandom, the original. I just want to bring up the date on this. DC when? Yeah, it was 2020, June 2020, not 2021. The run that recently just happened. In June of 2020, both Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was announced. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League at the end of its trailer said coming 2022. And we all said, okay, 2 years. Dope. All right, cool. Rocksteady Studios, 2 years. They got this. Gotham Knights, next year, 2021. Awesome. We get back-to-back years. Shortly thereafter, I think it was like a month or two later, it was really quick. They announced that Gotham Knights was being delayed. We don't have a date, maybe 2022. We don't know. Rocksteady Studios, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Awesome. Fast forward to December. November and December. They put out a story trailer that we gushed about. It was really cool looking. The animation, the storytelling looks cool. And then December, a month later, they put the gameplay trailer out, which got me even more excited because I didn't know how they were going to do it. They were very single player driven. Now you got 4 players, you got co-op, you got all this shit happening.
Everything we wanted Marvel to be, Avengers to be.
Yeah. Basically, right? And now a month later, essentially a month later, give or take, they said that I remember saying that it was on February 3rd, they announced that the game is not coming out till 2023. You put all this stuff out there in November and December, and then a month and a half later, when you talk about a fiscal year call, and what's coming next, it is not out there, and you're saying it's not coming out till 2023. Not early, not mid, not late. It popped in my head. It's not coming out a year later. We're in February. It could come out in December. It could be literally a 2-year delay, essentially, if you think about it that way. And what this comes down to, this is the conspiracy theory in me. This is not developer driven. I am all for games being delayed if it is from the developer. Look at Dying Light. It was supposed to come out in December. Now it's coming out it just came out. You got to polish the game. Look at Cyberpunk, how much of a poop show that was.
I'd like to say Dying Light 2 doesn't look that great. Well, but anyway,
it would have looked a lot worse. Like if I'm an artist, I'm a collector, I want the artist's vision to portray properly, especially if I'm spending $60 on it or $150 for a collector's edition. What this is screaming to me, especially since they put out all those trailers and gameplay in December, this is WB going to Rocksteady saying, we need a trailer, we need this, we need a date. I know you're not going to hit it. We'll take the shit for it, but we're going to get money out of it from our stockholders. That's what this screams. This is a publisher messing things over. Because look at Hogwarts Legacy. In 2020 also at a State of Play, it got announced it was coming out soon. We haven't heard nor diddly nor squat about that game. Gotham Knights, we got more stuff from them.
Wait a minute. Let me chime in on Gotham Knights. It's still scheduled to come out in 2022. We haven't seen shit.
We don't even, we haven't seen shit. The last one, I love Scott Snyder and those and Greg Capullo. They didn't even show us really anything at DC Fandom. They just said nothing. Warner Brothers Interactive is such a shit show right now, and it's glaring that this is all money driven. I actually kind of feel bad for the developers, but because you should not do this. You gave us all this stuff, and literally last month, essentially, you gave us a gameplay trailer that we got all hyped about, and it's not a month. It's not later this year. It's literally freaking 2 years, essentially, that this game is going to come out from now. It's...
You know what we'll get before we get any together, of that?
Man.
We're gonna get DC.
Wolverine. We're gonna get Spider-Man. We're gonna get Midnight Suns. We're gonna get everything. We're gonna get the 17 freaking reboot of the DC universe in movies and TV before we get these games. Yeah. This is horse.
We're gonna get DC League of Super Pets.
Yeah,
for sure, because their movie is on May 20th, so we'll get that. Yay!
Oh my god!
Multiverse will be out in this year. I'm happy about that because that's the Smash Brothers thing. So we're getting something from DC. The Gotham Knights thing just makes me laugh because I'm just like, they keep trading places.
Right? They are. They keep trading places.
They're like, we're going to delay this, get people hyped for this. Then we're going to delay this, get people hyped for this. Then we're going to delay this. And like, we haven't seen Jack. We don't know what Gotham Knights is actually going to bring to the table besides trailers. And it's scheduled to come out this year.
They announced that they're going into writing and greenlighting a pilot for a Gotham Knights TV show. And the game hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and what pisses me off even more is Wonder Woman. Like, they didn't even have to show that.
No, they really didn't. That game is not coming out until 2025, and I hope it doesn't come out until 2025. The CG didn't even look
polished, so I'm just like, why? But it's something that they say that, hey guys, we are working on something. You know.
Oh, I don't like how they do that.
Another game is DC Heroes and Villains, which I believe is a mobile game. And then Wolf Among Us too. They announced all these games at DC Fandom for no reason.
God,
the only game that makes sense is the Super Pets. Literally the only one that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know.
Every time I have hope for DC, it's just, you know what I want? I want Dwayne. Black Adam. You're gonna kick all of our asses in the best way possible with Black Adam. We know it, right, Frank? Like we know it. That's the only property DC right now that I have faith for because it's you.
Yeah, it has a date. I mean, it has a month now.
Well, it has a date and a month, July 24th or 19th or something like that.
That's a good time, man. Summertime for Dwayne Johnson.
Make your $1 billion globally. Get it out there and just go into Warner Brothers like with the costume on and say, I am your head now. I'm taking this over with $7 production. That's what I want. I want $7 production, Dwayne Johnson to be the head, the Kevin Feige of DC at this point.
Especially if I'll put it to you like this. I honestly believe if his movie kicks ass and like resurrects DC in any way, I believe that's not too far-fetched.
Like if they kick ass, I'm as much as I love Michael Keaton and hearing the certain things about the Flash movie, if that movie does what it's supposed to do, I just want them to wipe the slate clean. I love Jason Momoa.
Black Adam is a really good place.
Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I do really like her. I just haven't liked the stories. I feel like they've done her dirty with the stories because it hasn't been action. Like they need to. I'm okay with them literally wiping the slate clean and saying, we're starting from scratch. This is our start. And we're going to go from there with it because they do it with sports teams all the time. How many times does a team fail and you got to get rid of the coach and the GM? You get rid of people, right? And then you bring them in.
Now,
they need to do it, man.
DC property, man. People are like, like people are so invested in Marvel right now. It's just, especially when it comes to TV series and like shows and movies. And I think the only thing that's doing really great for DC right now
is
animation. And they should just stick with it. And then if Black Adam's a hit, Black Adam is a great place to start. It's a great place to start for DC.
Shazam wasn't even that bad. And what is the difference between Shazam and Black Adam? I'm sorry, Shazam and Black Adam, and what's the difference between them two and every other movie out there?
Black. I'm just kidding. I'm just waiting for that one person. But it's true. But anyway.
Well, no, it's they're not. Even though they're DC properties, it's kind of like Sony Spiderman, but the better version of it. It's the same thing. It's produced by or brought out by like not 20th Century Fox, but Paramount or something like that.
Was it Legendary?
Lionsgate? No, not Lionsgate.
Not Lionsgate. Legendary, maybe? I don't know. It's one of those.
Yeah, but like the big thing is it's not DC doing it, which is why it's good and why we have hope.
Is it rated R? Have they rated it yet?
It's not rated, but that's not gonna be rated R. That's probably gonna be
I think it's gonna be like
PG-13.
borderline like rated R PG-13 because like just the little blip they showed us was like, fuck yeah, like I was just like sitting there like, oh yeah, we back. The Rock is back. He's off that Disney boat.
Man.
He's back. Because he's been on that Disney boat for a while. That Disney boat making that Disney money because they announced that sequel like immediately.
Do you have any? Speaking of the Rock, do you? I keep on calling him Rock. Speaking of Dwayne, do he came out saying he's working on a video game property that he's very excited for. Any intuition into what that may be?
Gears of War.
See, I don't think it's Gears of War. You think it's Gears of War? I mean, I know that's been, because I know it's been in development for years now. He said it's a game he loves to play.
It ain't Fortnite. Thank goodness.
I mean, they gave him money.
Thank God, imagine a Fortnite movie. Oh, it'll make so much money, though. That's some shit Warner Brothers will pull. It's just like, let's get a bunch of streamers together and make a Fortnite movie. No, let me stop. But anyway. Oh man.
My goodness.
Yeah, I think it's Gears of War. I think it's Gears of War. I personally, it's either Gears of War or Halo.
I mean, they just put that trailer out for Halo TV series. It actually looks kind of good.
That's a TV series, though. So I don't know. It's got to be something that's recent, because I don't think he just announced something that's just like old and stale.
How would he do Halo?
Pokemon. I'm just kidding.
I can't see him doing Halo, because if he's cheap,
I think it's Gears of War, bro.
But or God of War. Play? Who would he?
Or God of War. That'd be sick. I don't think Dwayne Johnson should play God of War, but
I don't think he's Kratos. But
yeah, he's no Kratos. But I mean, maybe one of those. It has to be something. But I really think it's Gears of War. It just makes so much sense.
Wasn't active in development movie wise.
I just can see Dwayne Johnson in Gears of War and doing a trilogy with that. I can smell it at this point.
Man, I don't.
District 9 tanked. Oh.
District 9.
Please, Mark, make a Fortnite movie. Stop.
Man, I want to see him do
into fruition. God, I swear to goodness, I'd throw up.
Because I
don't know.
Who would he be? Dom, I guess. Who's Marcus Phoenix's best friend? It's Dom, right? Carmine?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
well, Carmine's the ones that keep on dying. But yeah, you thought Vin Diesel Dom.
Yeah.
I can't see him playing any of those characters though. Like he just, I mean, obviously
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I could totally see him playing a character, and I mean, he just fits. It might. I mean,
if he can do a good boy, then I'm down for God of War.
I don't think he'd be. I don't think. People, I'm just looking online to see what people are saying. People literally have God of War up there.
Man, what is
people are literally putting God of War as the game, dude. There's no way.
Oh man, what are some of the other games they're putting down?
Oh, it could be Call of Duty. It could be Call of Duty.
I mean, Call of Duty movie would literally just be an action war movie, so I could see him doing that.
Which he fits right in. Yeah. I could see Call of Duty. I could totally see that. Would I be hyped for it? Not really. I'd be hyped for Dwayne Johnson. I still watch it. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Call of Duty.
I could see that too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, people are reporting that it's Call of Duty. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson's new video game movie is Call of Duty. Reports claim. Multiple people are saying this.
Movie, The Rock. Keep on typing in The Rock. I gotta stop. Charlie Intel is actually a really big source. Like he's legit. Mm-hmm. Reports claim Dwayne The Rock Johnson said this. I love how he's like. I know I say it too because that's what I grew up on. He hasn't gotten rid of The Rock. You know damn well
who's gonna be in that movie if it's Call of Duty. Motherfucking Michael B. Jordan, 100%.
He's such a good actor, Michael B. Jordan.
Because Michael B. Jordan is addicted to Call of Duty. Like he is in it. But I could definitely see him being casted for it. But yeah, that's it. That's what everybody's saying.
Wow. I wonder when we're going to get this news, like more information. Huh.
You know what's funny? Since it's Activision, people are probably going to be like, oh my God, it's Activision and Dwayne Johnson get a lot of heat for it. No, he won't. He's The Rock. People look past that shit when it's a credible person on it, like 100%. And then the fact that Microsoft bought this makes so much sense. Who is Microsoft's biggest partner? The Rock. 100%. Every Xbox that came out, The Rock is on the campaign. 1,000%. This makes too much sense.
Didn't he?
This makes too much sense.
Wasn't he part of the original reveal too of the Xbox? Yeah, that makes so much sense.
And the Xbox Series X, he had a say in a lot of things about this.
Yes,
it makes so much sense.
And I mean, if it is too, it could be that $7 production may have bought the rights to a Call of Duty movie. Like they licensed it out to him. Like they don't have any like insider say into it. they just got the rights or the license to it for it. So who knows?
Yeah.
But that actually does make a lot of sense. That's actually very astute.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd watch it. Would I go to the theater to watch it? I don't know, man.
Just about anything I'd watch The Rock have his hand in, I'd watch it at this point.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Dwayne Johnson is like up there for me when it comes to things. It's like Denzel Washington movie, sure, I'll watch it. Dwayne Johnson, Idris Elba, sure, I'll watch it.
Dude, there was like, remember that time I was saying, like, you know, the Penguin movies? Do you remember the time, like, it was like the early 2000s, early 2000s, where he came out with like a movie after a movie after a movie, Denzel, where it was like he was protecting a girl, then he was like the Equalizer. Like he had this like after Training Day, I feel like he had a slew of movies that came out, and they were all kind of the same genre. I can't think of any of them outside of the Equalizer, and every one of them was a banger. They were so good. But it's also Denzel. So man.
Yep.
Book of Eli,
Man, Dwayne Johnson's on everything, bro. This man, I just went to his page to see what he's talking about, man. This dude is all over the Olympics, just like he was for the Summer Olympics. You know, I'm surprised we didn't get him on Twitch show, but he's all about the NBC. Oh, probably because he was there. He's all about NBC Olympics. This man is all over the place. Wait a minute.
Oh, what did we find?
Dwayne Johnson helps Fox NFL reporter deal with some depression. Okay. I thought the show was coming back. That show.
I love that show on HBO.
Was it Unbreakable or what?
The HBO show about football.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sport. Oh god, that was actually a really good show. I liked it. I can't think of the name either. Ballers.
Yeah, Ballers.
Dude, I just looked up his IMDb. Now I know some of it can be fluffy sometimes, but he's got obviously Black Adam that's in post-production. The King Kamehameha?
I don't
know what that is. Apparently he's doing how do you do San Andreas 2? Didn't San Andreas just like the world end with John Cusack? How do you do it too? Doc Savage and excuse me, Big Trouble in Little China? That can't be right?
Wait, old school Big Trouble in Little China?
Big Trouble in Little... A truck driver and his friend Jack Burton unite on one adventure.
What's the date?
It says it's been announced.
Oh, probably. I heard a long time ago they were remaking Big Trouble in Little China.
No, I know.
Long time ago.
I love you, Dwayne, but no.
Why not? Big Trouble in Little China was fucking awesome, bro.
No, it was awesome, but like, I don't want that remade. It's such a classic.
You know they're remaking Rush Hour as well, right?
Yeah, but that's like telling me you're gonna remake oh my god, Leroy, The Glow. Like, you know, I can't see that being remade. Like that was actually rumored for a long time with Samuel L. Jackson playing oh my god, why am I forgetting these people's names?
Wait, didn't The Rock doesn't he own half of the UFC now?
No, he doesn't own. No, he owns XFL. He doesn't own UFC. Okay. Show enough. Yeah, that's what it is. Show enough. I mean, that movie was. I can't.
Oh no, UFC does a shoe partnership with him.
Yes, he did.
At this point, this man is he owns everything.
He has his own energy drink. He has his own clothing line, workout line too, with Under Armour. Zao Energy, obviously, he has his own production company. He's a actor. He's in video games. He's producing. He's not directing yet, but like literally, he does everything. It's freaking incredible, man. He sold his soul to the devil at this point, I think.
I mean, he's just a positive person that everybody wants to work with. That gives back to he puts more into the community than he takes himself. You know, everyone. You know, there's people out there that talk shit about him all the time and say that he just does things for clout, but he doesn't need clout. He's driving. People roll down their windows. They knock on his door when he's leaving. He takes time to talk to them and say hi to them. Like Remember that? Did you see that award? Did you see the Nickelodeon award? Was it Nickelodeon Awards? I can't remember what awards. No, it was some bigger awards than that.
It was recent,
I don't know,
right?
People's Choice Awards.
Yes. His
and he gave that award to what is that organization called? Children of Hope or something where they have like this, they have a terminal illness and they have this one dream of doing something, and they put in these applications for these kids and they get chosen.
Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish Foundation. Yeah. So she was a part of it. And he said he gave her that award, but he made a really big deal about that award. And then he's always on Instagram, which I like. I think being on media that everybody's doing and not just doing TikToks all day is a good thing. But anyway, he was on that Instagram and he met up with her again he physically gave her this award. He didn't like mail it to her or had somebody send it to her. He physically gave her the award. It's so nice.
That's so why. Nice. Yeah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, everywhere. Dwayne The Rock Johnson brought down the house with his People's Choice Award speech, dedicating his award and giving his award to the Make-A-Wish recipient.
Yep.
Make-A-Wish recipient, excuse me.
And she kept saying, no, like, this is you. And he like, it was just so heartfelt. And it's really nice because you don't feel any negativity from that, right? You don't feel like, okay, he's just doing this type thing. So it's really great.
Yeah, everyone says that. I don't remember the speech. I don't think I've seen it, but now I want to see. I want to.
He was saying like he began as people like her that inspire him to keep going and do what he does. And
he began his acceptance speech talking about his last meeting with Muhammad Ali at a Make-A-Wish event, and he added that he's since come to find new meaning to the term. What it means to be the people's champion is so much bigger than me. Mm-hmm. And this guy is. Yeah, I didn't expect it at all, she said. I met her earlier, he said. I told her how inspired I was by her story. She's a survivor. She has fought literally for her whole life. She has inspired her family, her friends, now you guys, and now what the world is watching. Jesus, man. I'm like...
Yeah. It's the same thing about... This is the same thing I talked about. I'm going to be featured in something soon. I don't think I can talk about it until it happens. But when I went to St. Jude and I saw those kids, because when you're in this business as a content creator or a public figure or whatever, you always have imposter syndrome. You always feel like what you're doing in the world is not good enough. You feel like a minuscule piece of nothing, like a lint in a world filled with giants. But you kind of always have to get those reality checks to bring you back down, because granted, we may not be the biggest, we may not be seen, may not be known. There are people out there that have some really bad things going on in their lives, but they continue to push on. And I think that's the same thing that Dwayne is saying. Not to discredit your feelings, because you could being depressed. That's a real thing. I mean, nobody's discrediting that. And I will never go up to somebody and be like, think about the homeless people. You got a house. I'll never be that person. But when I went to St. Jude, they asked us when we went to go visit St. Jude for the first time, they asked us, say, who wants to serve food to the kids?
When did you go?
Them tell us. Huh?
You remember when you went?
I went multiple years.
Oh, okay.
I went for 3 years. I missed one though. I was invited to 4, but I went to 3 and missed 1. And I hated myself, but I missed it because my father-in-law had passed away, unfortunately. So I was like, me. I was like it was like winning the lottery, dude. I really wanted to go out and hang out with the kids. And we was there. We were serving food. People hated me, by the way. Nobody liked working with me because I was just like, this has to be perfect. You need to wash your hands. Like, I was that dude. Like, you just scratched your ass, wash your hands. Like, we're not serving these kids with your ass hands. Like,
with
I was like,
your ass hands.
Seriously. I don't like that shit, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wash your hands. Anyway. So we're helping these kids. These kids are like 9 years old, like 6 years old, 3 years old, baby toddlers, people that have cancer, like terminally ill cancer, like granted the rate of survival rate in St. Jude is really high. It's like 85% or something like that. Cure rate. It's really nice.
And they won't stop until they hit 0. And I love.
So I'm serving these kids and I'm thinking I'm going to get emotional, like, here you go. This could be their last meal. You never know. Like, I'm thinking this shit in my head. But you know what those kids were doing? Hey, how you doing?
They're so happy.
Like picking on my shirt. Like, your shirt is funny. I was just like looking around. Everybody's like, how are they so happy? And back in my head, I'm like, how are these kids so happy, acting like nothing's going on in their lives? And then it dawned on me. The difference is the adults, the parents, are the ones that are depressed and gloomy. The kids, happy as can be, playing with each other, running around, grateful, just having another day to breathe. And that changed a lot of stuff in me. I'm not saying that it cured everything, because it didn't. I still have like these moments, but it's less now because now I'm just like, these kids take it day by day. They're inspirations for us. Like they're the future, and the winning the lottery for them is to get that test back that says is no longer rapid in them. You know, that's the lottery. And there's organizations out there that gives these parents and these kids a place to be for free and treats them like they don't treat them like patients. And I think that's the biggest. Treat them
like family, more than family.
They treat them like, family at school. It's like, I talked to some of these kids that were like, it's like this is our school. This is our home. These are our people. It's our friends. That's my brother and sister. And they have proms for the teenagers and stuff. They have like all this great stuff. I'm getting
emotional just thinking about all this, man.
Yeah, dude, guys, if you ever can have a tour at St. Jude, my God, go. It'll change your life.
That was the one thing that I got so, like, I actually got really upset over it because I was supposed to go my first time in April 2021 when or was it 2020, whenever the first pandemic hit and they had to cancel everything. I was so pissed off because I'd never been there before and I wanted to go so bad. And
it's huge. It's huge, man. It's very, very huge. And that's why I'm so adamant about doing St. Jude. Like, very adamant. And I always told this story is that it changes people. When I was in the airport leaving, and I got news. One of my at the time, he wasn't like a close friend of mine. He was just an associate. I want to say a person I knew. His name is Vinilus. He's a streamer, and he was standing by himself. And I went over there, and something just told me that he needed a hug. You know, people might look at that weird, like two men hugging, but I don't give a fuck what people think. But anyway, so I went over to give him a hug, and he was just like, "What is it? What do you do?" I was like, "Dude, you look like you need a hug, man." You know, and he was just like, "I just got news. My dad has cancer, or his dad died, or something. One of the two." And I literally, like, my heart sank. And, you know, we sat there and I talked to him till his plane was ready and everything. And then so I was feeling kind of down about it. And I went and sat down with one of my really close friends. Because we were on the same flight, and she was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Man, I just got news that, you know, Finless's dad is like not doing well and or died." I can't remember at the time; it was a long time ago. And she was like, "Oh my God, you okay?" I was like, "I don't know, man." I was like, "We just got through this big thing where we see all these kids, and here he is celebrating this, but no, he has to go home from his dad that died from the same thing that we went here to prevent. You know, sucks." Now I look across from me, and there's this man that I typically would automatically judge that don't like people of my color because he was dressed like it. His face looked like it read it. He was just sitting at me, looking at me, staring at me like this. And I was like, okay. So I just kind of stood there, and I went. Part of me was like asking what's up, you know, like, but another part of me was like, you know, I know where I'm at. You know, in Tennessee, you know, I don't know what was going on. You know, I was just like, yeah, okay. So anyway, the guy said, so he stood up and walked over to me.
Oh.
Okay, and I was just like, yeah, my eyes went from like, to, you sure you want to do this? Like, I don't know what you're doing. He said, you came from St. Jude? And I was like, yeah. He was like, "Would you do a moment? You do me something favor real quick and stand up." Just how you talk to me. And I was just like,
what is happening right now?
I looked at Christy and she was like, "That's on you." So I stood up because I stood up like I was checking. I was like, okay, what you gonna do, man? This dude full on bear hugged the shit out of me.
Shit.
Big burly white guy. Bear hugged me. He's like, "I'm so sorry." And he hugged me and he started crying. And I was like, what's wrong, man? He was like, they treated my daughter for 9 years and she passed away, but I still go there, you know, to help out and volunteer. And he says, people like you, he said, I know you're a content creator or you do something with charity because you wouldn't have that book bag. And he said, man, I just want to hug you. You're my brother. And from that moment, I changed completely. It was a complete 180. My life changed, and I told myself I will never judge any. First of all, I won't judge people off looks, obviously, but we live in a world where it's hard to not do that. And and then after that point, I told myself, I told him I hugged him back, and I told him we will never give up. We will never give up. And he said I could be the one that's mad at St. Jude and call them liars and stuff like this. I could do that. I could be that person. But he says I know they did everything they could, and my daughter smiled every single day she was there. And he's like, you'll never know the pain of holding your own child in your hands, you know, knowing that she could, you know, they can just pass away. And I was like, I don't understand that personally, but I said, I feel your pain and I'm gonna do everything I can. So it's so good to have people like the whole point. I ain't mean to make all you emotional on that, but the whole point of it is that people like Dwayne Johnson or people like us and like you can make a difference in people's lives. It's so important to have that inspiration and that person, that public figure be that one outlet. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, man. But I know, you know, because, you know, you have kids, so it hits home. You know, like, so it's just like, as long as we keep up that fight.
Man, I go to a routine checkup to my son and everything just goes through my head because
you never know,
horrible.
right?
I can't. And
yeah, man. But good news is like, you can celebrate him here today. Yeah. Like if we all take that moment, like Dwayne Johnson, and like that's what I get so upset about media, like why people start shit and tell, oh, he's just doing this for clout and this and the other. Man, celebration of people's lives, dude, that's real shit, man. It also goes back to the moment where there was an interview with Chadwick Boseman, and I meant to bring this up to you. I meant to text you about this. There was an interview we talked about, me and you. Chadwick was alive during, it was Black Panther. It was kind of coming off of Black Panther, but I think it was like 21 Bridges and like Infinity War, you know, in like Infinity War area. And then I never, now it makes so much sense. It hurts me to think about this. The interview of this lady, she was with EN Entertainment Tonight.
Okay.
Interviewed Chadwick and said, what about Black Panther 2? His answer was, I'm dead. And she says,
this had to be, it has to be after Infinity War. Holy shit.
And she was like, no, Chapman, we don't want you dead. Because she's thinking Black Panther. He says, I'm dead. And now it fucking makes sense. Because he knew. He ain't tell nobody. Damn, that shit hit me. It hit me so hard. And I looked at that last week, dude. I was just like, oh, it was deeper meaning. It was a way deeper meaning. And on top of that, the interview where he was talking about the kids when he went to the hospital and he found out they passed away, that was more of a message to himself about his terminal illness. And man, I was distraught, bro. I was just literally sitting there looking at the screen, just like, damn, that interview, when he said that shit, because he was sick in that. He was very like underweight, you know, than he normally was during that time.
I just looked it up and I see the photos and it looks like it was during like a red carpet with someone.
Yeah, red carpet event. Yeah.
Oh man.
And if you go back even further, the 25 years of Marvel or 10 years of Marvel or whatever they did, there you'll see it now. You can see it all over the place, especially on Instagram. There was they had to sit all down for the pictures. They were taking pictures and stuff.
I forgot what it was, but I'm sorry. I
think it's 10 years of Marvel, like, or no, 25 years of Marvel.
It was like their big 12 years of Marvel, like a film thing or whatever that they took a photo
for. The MCU together, you know, celebrating. And there was a video that wasn't released until like way later of Chadwick Boseman kind of going like this and falling asleep.
Yep.
And I forgot the actor's name, but the one that plays Vision, like, was staring at him the whole time. And he finally did something where he tapped on him. He was just like, are you okay? You know, because and Chadwick looked over and says, I don't know, and smiled. Dude, that shit just hits me, man. So anyway, like I said, I don't want to bring this up to like make everybody sad, but just enjoy every fucking moment of your life, man. We wake up and breathe fresh air. It can have the worst shit happening to you, man. But the one priceless thing that you can't replace is your life or someone else's, man. Enjoy that shit, man. And if any good you can do in the world while you're alive, do it. Charity events are a great way to do it. I don't care if you raise $100, man. Go for it. Like, just go. That's $100 more than they had. You know, $5 is a toy for somebody at St. Jude.
I love how they give us all that stuff and information as creators too. Like, what does $5 do? What does $10 do? What does this do? Which is an individual donation or as a total donation. And I know we're talking about St. Jude, but that's also another reason why I love Rare Drop and GCX so much too. Yeah. I mean, it was almost $7 million last year alone. I think over $14 million over the life of the GCX blocks. And
that's why we're here, folks. I mean, this show wouldn't exist if Rare Drop wasn't the titan they were in the charity community for me.
Same thing. I mean, I know I have a relationship with Kevin prior because I used to work with him back in the day, but I remember when he first rang me about the original Guardian Con and Xboxes and everything, I started looking into it. I loved the whole premise of it. I loved the whole idea of it because of the giving back. And that was something I always wanted to do when I was with my old company. And when I started streaming, I always want to do it. And like, you never know how generous, believing, and caring people are. And I'll use myself an example. I'm nowhere near Frank. Like, Frank is a massive entertainer when it comes to streaming and just everything in general. And I'm not. I actually had to pull back, unfortunately, on it.
I'm gonna cut in, and you gotta stop that.
Like, no. But
you know, man, you don't. I am, bro. You work just as hard as me. Like, honestly, like anybody listening on the podcast, something that's not true. That's a humbling statement that people give. He works just as hard as me. He's got a family, he's got kids, a wife, and he's doing this stuff. And he hasn't made to that milestone that he's trying to get right now, but he'll get there. But that's hard work, bro. There ain't no way that I'm above you or I say we on equal footing together. And we're gonna get where we need to go together. 100%, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Nah. We're not gonna sit here and demoralize. Like, you do a lot. You got to understand, like, you being able to sit here on a Saturday, man, where you got kids in the background, your wife is hardworking, you know, coming off of what she just came out of with what happened. I don't want, you know.
Yeah.
And she's here, bro. Like, nah, don't discredit it, bro. You're gonna get there, man. We're gonna make sure of it. 100%.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, what I was gonna say is, you never know. I mean, people are going to drop coffee and spend $5 for the kids because it's worth it. And
you never know who's watching.
Yeah, that's another
never know. I always tell people, like, if you're feeling down, if you're a content creator, or you're doing a charity or something, Dwayne Johnson could be watching you. He could be watching. You never know. So you do things for the sake of doing it for the good of all. And then all the other good stuff will come. And then guess what? If you're not ever recognized at all, know that you probably saved somebody's life.
That is very true.
Because the best, if somebody ever asked me, hey, all these years you've been doing this content creation, what's the best things you ever got as a reward? Is those messages from people telling me that I helped them get through another day. That's my biggest payoff. Not the money. That helps because I can continue to do this. But the biggest payoff is when someone say, Frank, you helped me get through this day. It was a hard day, man. But I come in your channel and I laugh. That's when you make it. That's when I'll say that's when you make it, is when you influence someone to have, or not influence, I don't want to use the word. If you help someone have a great day, you're good. It doesn't matter about numbers. Numbers are bullshit anyway. Like, there's plenty of streamers out there that have big numbers that don't contribute to this lifestyle. They just do it for the negativity to build clout. There's plenty of them, but they'll never be remembered in a good light unless they change.
True.
And I hope that they do. I hope they change. But anyway. Sorry for the knock on the feelings late, but it's a message that should get out there. Where we do comics and we do real talks. I mean, this is why we are who we are, and Rare Drop gives us a platform to be able to do it. Twitch gives us, Rare Drops gives us the ability to be able to do it, and Twitch gives us a platform to speak it. Hopefully, you guys take something that you learned today and give it out to pass it on, man, like a baton. You are all superheroes are real. And you are all superheroes. It's just what you're going to do with your special powers to make the world a better place at the end of the day. Simple as that. But we will not be around next week, but we may have some reruns. If you do miss comics, we more than likely will have reruns up, or, maybe Matt will do some TikTok stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But no pressure on that. But if we have some reruns, great. If not, do me a favor. Your homework is to spread the word about our Twitter, please. The Comics Show. Easy. We got to get those follows up. And it's not because of clout or nothing like that. We just want the follows up so we can actually market better. The more follows this has, the better.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we want to do. We do have a TikTok. We obviously have Twitter as well too. Frankie just put it in the channel. Excuse me. So we want to do more stuff with that. With this, we've already kind of teased it a little bit. Frank did with what everything looks like on here. And actually, I want to bring it up again too. I know this is stream live on twitch.tv/raredrop every Saturday, almost every Saturday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you're unable to watch us live, you can check us out on our YouTube channel or even on here shortly after. We do have the full VODs on here. If you want to listen to us, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, usually around Monday afternoon, Monday night. The full version of this goes up in audio form. If you are missing a little bit, you want to listen to us at your desk while you're working or whatever, you can check us out on there. And we do know that a bunch of people download it and listen to it. So thank you for that. You can check us out on there. Or you can just go to raredrop.co, I believe it is, to check it out. But yeah, follow our Twitter. We're going to be doing some fun stuff on there as well. And it's time. Yep. Yeah. This show is all over the place in the best way possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes comics what it is. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's not one of those things where we just follow a trend.
Yeah. Anyway. That is true, but yeah, we won't be back next week, or we'll figure it out. Thank you for the follows. If you want to hop us on Twitter, click that link. As of right now, there will be no show, next week on the 12th, but we will be back on the 19th. Yeah. So your homework for that will be definitely catch up on the Book of Boba Fett. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comic news out there as well. Peacemaker, if we want to talk about that as well. What am I missing? Is there any other homework, chat? Any other homework?
Yeah, make sure you go. Since we're not going to be available next week, go watch Nighthawk Plays, man. Go check out his streams. Go follow our content on Instagram, Twitter. If you want to talk, my DMs are open. Just don't be weird.
Mine are too. Yeah, mine are too.
If you want to talk about comics or you have comic news, feel free to DM us. Feel free to post it on our Twitter. That's the biggest place you should post it. Like, hey, at the comic show, have you seen anything about X-Men and this, that, and the other? That's great ways to contribute to us. So that's always great homework. It's always passive homework you can do. But anyway, Matt, tell them where you at. And
yeah, I'm looking up. I am Nighthawk Plays spelled with the Z everywhere. So whether it's Twitch daily starting at 8 a.m. or TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anything and everything in between, Nighthawk Plays, you can check me out with that social media handle. There we go. Frank?
Yep. Technique here, just like it's spelled in the chat. You see my post right there. You can click on that and hit follow, or if you're watching from an external source, is twitch.tv/technique. No U, no E, just a Q at the end. Also, be sure the Twitter is Technique with a T and a V at the end, just like you see right here. And if you're watching if you're listening from the podcast and stuff, we see the numbers. Thank you so very much. That's really awesome, man. I mean, I'm very humbled and blushing about how many of you download this podcast and watch it every week that we go live. So thank you so very much for that. We appreciate it. Feel free to leave comments if you want to, or feel free to hit us up on the Twitter at twitter.com/the Commix COMMIX show. And we'd love to see it. And if there's stuff that you want us to cover, hit us up. Let us know. Other than that, hope you guys have a blessed February. And if we don't hear from you, then good. We'll be back a week after next week, the following Saturday after the Saturday coming. And we'll be talking about a lot of good stuff. So we'll hopefully catch you there. But until then, as I said before, you're all superheroes. Just use your powers in ways that you can influence and do good in the world that we live in. We don't have a lot of time. So, it's time to get going. And we'll catch you when I catch you guys, or when we catch you guys. So have a good one. Thank you so much. Bye.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
For episode 33 Comic Show. Peace.